Hello and welcome to Cheetah TV. My name is Brian Badger from the Cheetah Conservation Fund. In this episode, I want to take you on a journey through Africa and to give you a few facts and statistics about the continent itself. Because we talk about Africa and, we kind of band it around. Unfortunately, a lot of people think it's a country, but it's not. It's a continent. So I've got just a few minutes to tell you basically starting with how big is Africa? Well, it's massive. And you can fit the US, China, India, and most of Europe inside it with room to spare. It's the second largest continent on Earth, but sometimes when you look at it on a map, it doesn't look that big because the map, when it's kind of on the globe and then flattened out, Africa being kind of in the middle, makes it a little bit distorted on the map, so it looks smaller than what it actually is. Now, as I said before, it's not a country, it is a continent, and there's 54 internationally recognized countries within Africa itself. But there's also a few countries that are disputed. They're autonomous states, things like Western Sahara and Somaliland, which you've heard us talk about quite a lot. Then you got the Sahara Desert that's inside it, and it's the biggest hot desert in the world. And it's so big that it can actually swallow up the whole of the US east of the Mississippi River. So it's pretty big. People think of Africa and they think of heat. Well, yeah, because of the Sahara Desert, it's a very hot region. It is the equator runs right the way across Africa, but also you have got glaciers, should I say, on the top of Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, and you get snow on the peaks of Kilimanjaro. And the wildlife, let's talk about the wildlife. People, when they often think about Africa, they think about like safari. Well, the Africa, there's some of the coolest animals on the planet. The legendary Big Five, for instance, the lions, the elephants, the leopards, the rhinos, and the Cape buffaloes. They're all native to the to Africa, and it kind of holds the record holders, if you like, of the animal world. The biggest, the African elephants are the biggest land animal. You've got the giraffe, for instance, they're the tallest animal. And of course, you've got the cheetah, which is the fastest of all the land animals, and lots of others as well. And so talking about the megafauna, the largest animals, things like your giraffe, your rhinos, and your elephants, there's more free roaming herds and groups of those animals than anywhere else on Earth. So they still roam free, and you've got some of the strangest, shall we say, animals. The pangolin, for instance, looks like a walking pine cone, but it can roll in a ball. Looks a bit like Sonic the Hedgehog in the wild. But those animals, not really understood that much, although a lot of research now is being done for them. They're actually the most traded animal illegally because of their body parts and the Asian medicine trade. The island that's off of the big island that you see on the southeast of Africa, Madagascar. Now, the animals there are bizarre because they look like a lot of animals that you may recognize. Things like if you see a tenric, you may think it's a hedgehog, for instance. But 90% of the animals there can be found nowhere else on Earth. So it's completely isolated, and the evolution of those animals have happened only in Madagascar. And then you've got the people of Africa. The landscape, they say that the Africa is the cradle of humankind. And some of the oldest human fossils ever found came from Ethiopia and South Africa. So somewhere along the line, depending on your belief system, we've all got that connection with Africa. And it's very diverse as well. More than 2,000 languages are spoken across the continent. If you look at Nigeria just alone, it's got over 500 different languages within it. So Africa today It's the kind of the youngest of all the continents. When we're talking about people, over 60% of the population is under 25. So in that ways, it's the youngest. In other ways, it's the oldest. But when you're talking about people, and the technology, Kenya led the way with mobile money that we're all using, but they kind of had it first, and Rwanda, and the uses of drones to deliver medical supplies and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of innovation that happens in Africa that a lot of people don't understand. A few quick fire facts for you. I mean, Africa has penguins. Now, when we think about penguins, we kind of think about Antarctica and stuff. Well, penguins are found on some species of penguin are found on the south coast of South Africa. The Nile River is the longest river in the world. The Congo River is the deepest river. And there's also a lake in Cameroon, Lake Nyos, that once exploded from below because of the trapped CO2 within it. So it kind of, when you look at the Coke and the Mentos explosion that happened, in nature as well. And Africa is the only continent that touches all four hemispheres. So the Eastern Hemisphere, Western Hemisphere, Northern and Southern. And it also has both the tropics, the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. So that stretches across. So all four hemispheres and both tropics. So yeah, Africa just isn't one place. It's many worlds all on one continent. And I always encourage people to visit Africa. It can be quite life-changing for a lot of people. And at CCF, we do offer accommodation. We have got a couple of lodges on our site. So not only can you see the fantastic wildlife and meet the incredible people of Africa, but you can also see frontline conservation in action and kind of get involved as much as you you feel that you want to. But it's kind of eye-opening and it is life-changing. And details of all the Cheetah View Eco Lodge can be found on our website, which is at cheetah.org, and then there's a link to the Eco Lodge website from there. But all of the processes and projects that operate at both CCF in Namibia and CCF in Somaliland, all the details of all the programs that we're involved with can be found on the website. And now, if you like the videos and you're following Cheetah TV and all the different aspects that we're trying to cover to highlight the diversity of frontline conservation, if you appreciate it or you like it, please subscribe, like, and share our videos. It really does help us grow. So don't forget, pop across to our website, cheetah.org, and see how you can get involved, either sponsoring a cheetah or coming to visit us at CCF in Namibia. You'll be more than welcome. Thanks for your time. And until the next time on Cheetah TV, I'll see you again very, very soon. Thank you.